she stuck it. But Laura tells me that's not worth anything. So she's got 2 more throws here. The only other place to go is right in between those two, Mandy. This last one's going to be right on. Now, all of these competitors here today are from Ohio, so I should mention that. So everybody competing here today has to be living in Ohio, which is pretty neat. There it is. It's a 4. All right. Got Angie up next. Same thing. We get 1 warm-up and 3 scoring throws here. She's got to beat that 4 that Mandy put down there. Pretty close there. Now, as you watch, everyone's kind of got their own warm-up that they do here. Kind of like a basketball player shooting free throws. They'll kind of go through that same pattern or routine of things as they step up to that line there. There we go. 4 on her first throw. You'll notice some people pull the axe straight back over their head, some bring it over their shoulder. Another good throw there. Another 4 there. Now both points of the axe cannot be sticking in the target. She was awfully close, but that one counts as a 4. We've got some axe catchers walking by in the back there. Visual distraction when you're trying to throw there. Another good throw. Let's hear it for Angie, everybody. 3 sticks there. Another 4. That's 12 for Angie. 10 Freeman is up next. 12 is the number to beat right now. Good warm up again there. Now everyone brings their own throwing axe, and each of them are a little bit different. Each of these saws is hand filed, so you only get a certain number of cuts on a saw before it's got to be filed again. Therefore, you want to take great care of these. All the wood is hopefully going to be clean here. You saw them, if you were here earlier, clearing off the front of those blocks, making sure there are no knots in there. Just the tiniest of knots or even a little grain of sand on the teeth of these saws can mess with them and bend them or dull them. On stand 1 here, you see them putting some foot blocks in, completely legal. This helps the guys or gals get better footing Some people will actually wear forks, so just logging boots with those 1/4-inch logging spikes screwed in the bottom or drilled in the bottom, help them get a little better grip there. Like what Grant has mine. Wonderful. If you can see that far, Grant's actually got soccer cleats. They're drying the bottoms off. You put those logging spikes right at the bottom of the soccer cleat. Works perfectly for sawing, and then they can double when he goes burling later. Right? The teams are also allowed to have a wedger or a sprayer, so basically a teammate up there with them behind the saw. They're going to be spraying a lubricant on that saw, usually like a WD-40 to just help that saw keep moving freely in the wood. And then as they get through it, and I'm not even sure if they'll use a wedge out here, but they are allowed to use a wedge in some bigger wood, and then that would help separate the wood from each other, again helping that saw to move more freely. But no wedges out here today. 2 cuts, yep. 2 cuts right off the top of the log here. It's all about teamwork. So ideally you're pulling that saw and then just kind of guiding it back to your partner. So pull, pull, pull. Not going to be many pulls to get through these logs today. We're using an electronic timing system here with the iPad, getting it down to 1/100th of a second here. So we'll pull all the times. These guys and gals are all competing for some great prize money out here today. Title sponsor here today is Husqvarna. We've also got Steel as a sponsor, Bryant Equipment, Columbus Equipment, Spyside Bourbon Cooperative, Murphy Tractor and Equipment, Buckeye Power Sales, LaRoche Tree Service, and Troyer Hardwood. How about a big hand for all the sponsors who helped to make this show happen here. We've got our first 2 teams set on the blue stand. We've got Team Angie Dustheimer and Mandy Ari. And on the red stand down there, Jared Hawkins and Jason Hawkins. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, stand down. Okay. We're gonna try this again. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Help them out down here. You've got the guys versus the gals in our first heat. First cut down. Nice and smooth through the second cut. And it's Team Hawkins taking it off first there. You'll notice that transition after the first cut to the second one is a tricky one. You've got to not only bring that saw up in unison, but kind of get it running smoothly again. You've also got to make sure you get it far enough in on that block. The gals had a really thin second disc there, which isn't a bad thing. They like to say thin to win. But if you cut out, then you have to go back and make a third cut. So you have to have 2 complete discs come off. Next up, we've got Derek Dustheimer and Grant Foreman on 1, and Tim and Justin Winkler down on 2. After the 2-man, we have 3 heats of this. We're going to get into some more axe throwing, and then we actually have some Jack and Jill songs. So we're going to take contest, play guy and gal are the requirements on that one, and it will just be 1 putt there. See him taking some practice strokes down there on 2. It's just to help get your feet in place there. Make sure your arms are going where they need to go, making sure you're keeping that saw nice and straight and level. These crosscut saws can run anywhere from $2,500 to up to $4,000 depending on the saw, the maker, once you get it filed. Again, so utmost care is taken with this equipment. It is not cheap and it is very, very fragile and delicate here. actually they'll be official times by the time I get them in a minute here. We'll read off some times so we can get an idea of what we're looking at here. Prize money awarded to the top 5 finishers in each discipline here today, I believe. How many of you have an old crosscut saw hanging on the wall at home or at your cabin? Yes, you have a whole new appreciation for it now, right? They used to call these the old misery whips because of all of the work that it actually takes to push and pull them. And this is what was used, you guys can stand down for just a sec, waiting for the timer to come back. This is what was used back in the day before the invention of chainsaws. So back after they had fell all of those trees or even using them in some of the standing trees, this is how they would cut those logs down if they weren't using an axe. So we've come a long way with the invention of the modern day chainsaw, but it is fun to race these now and again. All right, we've got our timing system in place. We're going to wait until those saws are sharp side down here. On stand number 1, you've got Derek Dustheimer and Grant Foreman. And on stand 2, you've got Tim Winkler and Justin Winkler. Timer ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Very quick first cut on stand 1. They're making short work of that block there. An excellent cut for them. A good cut for the Winklers. Big hand for both of those teams there. Stand 1 might have the fast time to beat right now. You'll notice it only took about 3 pulls to get through that log. If you're working with your partner and you've got a good saw, it literally just drops through that log like a hot knife through butter there. Excellent work, guys. Final heats here. Stand 1, Robert Freeman and Ken Freeman. Stand 2, Mike Sullivan and Aiden Troyer. Some of the best lumberjacks and lumberjills in the country will be competing right here on this same stage, including Mike Sullivan here, one of the top lumberjacks, and Grant Foreman, who you saw here in that last heat, one of the top jacks in the country. Sounds like we have some Grant Foreman fans in the crowd. There we go. We like a good fan club. He says thanks, Mom. We've got Mike Sullivan, Aiden Troyer coming out. Aiden, one of our sponsors here with Troyer Hardwood, sponsoring all of the women's events here this weekend. How about a big hand for Troyer Hardwood, please? Seriously, the sponsors are truly what make these shows go. So we are so appreciative for all of the great sponsors here. Again, everybody competing here today is from Ohio, the Ohio-only competition. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Very close race there. Big hand for both of those teams there. And that concludes the 2 gonna do some more axe throwing here. We've got Jared Hawkins, Rick Hawkins, Derek Dustheimer, and Aiden Troyer coming up in the axe throw. Again, looking for the top places. We do have time for an axe throw-off later. It oftentimes happens where we have a few guys tied or gals tied with the same score there, and we'll have them throw off at the end. But for now, we're sitting with 4 different scores. We've got Jared Hawkins up first in the axe throwing. Just a warm-up there for Jared, demonstrating why we get a warm-up. No. He's requesting 2, but we got to keep things fair here. Are we cutting any black, Laura? It's a 3, she says. A little high. He knew it as soon as it left his hands there. Anybody ever been to one of the axe throwing or hatchet bars that are popping up everywhere these days? Does anybody have a little bit of experience throwing? It's a little harder than it looks. Again, not worth anything, but how about a hand for Jared there in the axe throw? Got you penalized for wrecking the background. Rick Hawkins is up next. Rick, are you father to Jared? Just a warm-up. All right, now we have to assume that Rick taught Jared everything he knows, right? So now the pressure's on to beat him. Who's cheering for Rick out there? Oh, yeah. Closer. You'll notice a theme throughout the day. You're going to hear a lot of the same last names. A lot of husband and wife teams out here. We've got a daughter competing, sons competing, dads competing. So very close family sport, and honestly everyone within the community is just kind of like one big family, helping each other out, cheering each other on. So close. One more throw for Rick here. How about a big hand for Rick, everybody? Derek Dustheimer is next. round, and she threw a 12, so pressure's kind of on here to see who in the family is going to take home the high score in the axe throw today. Pretty good first throw there. Got a 4. But it looks like a bullseye for Derek on that one. And it hangs on there for another 4. How about a hand for Derek there? Aiden Troyer is our final axe thrower in this round. Good warm up there. Axe throwing's tricky. You're not sure if you should talk or cheer or just be quiet. It's kind of like golf, right? I feel like I've got a lot of power down here, but I'm just going to stay quiet. There we go, getting in a little closer there. Looks like a 4 on that one. 2 more throws for Aiden here. There it is, bullseye. Another 4 there. Let's hear it for Aiden. A very good round for him as well. All right, we're going to get back into some sawing with some Jack and Jill sawing. We've got Rick and Linda Hawkins up on stand 1, and Robert Freeman and Georgia Ari on stand 2. So we're going to look at some of the times from our 2-man sawing. So 5th place was Angie and Amanda with a time of 9.4. 4th place was the Wicklers with 8.56. 3rd place was the Hawkins with 8.41. 2nd place was Sullivan and Troyer with 5.6. And 1st place was Destheimer and Gorman with 5.52. So 5.52 seconds and 5.63 seconds. That was the difference between 1st and 2nd place there. Pretty impressive, which is why we use the iPad in the app. It's called Coach's Eye, which really helps us go frame by frame down to that 100th of a second to get the most precise time. Because we used to use just hand timers, and it's so hard to get that reaction time just right and get accurate times here. So same concept with the Jack and Jill. We've got a gal and a guy on this round. This is Georgia's, which I'm sure she's going to love that I'm sharing this with all of you today. Georgia's very first competition here today. She comes with Grant and Mandy, travels all over watching them compete. Now, she says, you know what, I think I've seen this enough. I think I can do this. So, Robert Freeman was in need of a Jill, and here we are. Rick and Linda Hawkins at stand 1. You'll see they start with those teeth up, or the sharp side up there. And again, they're just taking some practice strokes on top of that log, stretching out the arms, making sure they've got those feet the right distance, making sure they're not standing too far back or too far forward. And again, the idea is to work with your partner. So you're pulling, and then you're simply guiding that saw back to them as they pull it through the wood. So you're not necessarily pushing, you're just pulling, and it's a nice, gentle, ideally nice, gentle movement all the way through. The quickest teams, it seriously just looks effortless because there's not a lot of power or force. It is just keeping that saw nice and straight and being nice and smooth with your partner. Pull with it. We've got those saws sharp side down. On stand number 1, we've got Rick and Linda Hawkins. And on stand number 2, Robert Freeman and Georgia Ari. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go. One cookie down. Nice work, team Robert and Georgia, and Linda and Rick are off. Big hand to both of our teams there. Just one cookie in the Jack and Jill here. I almost forgot for a second. I was going to holler at him to keep going. Up next, on stand 1, Tim Winkler and Jessica Bessingham. Am I saying that correctly? Kind of? Okay, sorry. And then stand 2, Grant Foreman and Mandy R. Jessica Bessingham. No way in heck was I going to get that one right on my own. And Mandy, you got a husband and wife team down on stand number 2. If you watch any of the Steel Timber Sports series on CBS on TV there, these faces. You guys aren't actually married yet? Wow, I never knew that. I think I've been saying your husband and wife for a really long time. They've been engaged for 12 years. Maybe that's why. They'll be married in 2 weeks. Okay, well, thank you for correcting me because I've literally announced many shows with these two and called them husband and wife so many times. I just really wanted it to happen, so I'm pushing it. Stand number 1, Tim and Jessica. Stand number 2, soon to be husband and wife, Grant and Mandy. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Gonna be quick on stand 2. They're making short work. Stand 1 broke out, but they can go back and finish that off. Big hand for both of those teams there. Definitely not ideal when that happens, but they did a good job of getting that saw right back in the wood, kept it moving. And as long as those 2 pieces make 1 hole, then it's a good job.
I can get up.
Do we have a walk-on? Go nuts. Your very own souvenir, man. Final heat. Oh no, we have 2 more heats of the Jack and Jill here. 3rd heat, Ken Freeman and Jen Freeman, and Derek Dustheimer and Angie Dustheimer. 2 husband and wife teams. Now I'm afraid to say everyone's husband and wife because I have no idea. They all have the same last name. Could be brother and sister. We can make it weird, guys. We can make it weird. So 2 husband and wife teams facing off in heat number 3. Looking for the time to beat. If I were a betting woman, I would bet that Grant and Mandy have the fastest time so far. That was a very good cut from those 2. Sawing partners for a number of years now. Grant is actually known as the YouTube woodchopper. A lot of people get into this at their local 4-H club or in college on a timber team. A club sport is a lot of times what you see. I started watching YouTube videos and decided he was going to teach himself. After he started to learn a little bit, he started to train with other pros. Like I said, everyone's very open. It's like one big family. And then Mandy got in on the fun. Now both top competitors in the men's and women's field, and they travel all over, not just here in Ohio competing. So very fun group to be around. They make it up to Wisconsin and Minnesota to see us at some of our shows up there, not too far. Some competitions you'll see what's called the single box. So the same style saw, it's just 1 handle and 1 person. So then it is on you to push and pull that log. So the benefit to having a partner is it takes away half of the work and makes it so much fun and so fast to get through these logs here. Last spray of that WD-40, we got the saws sharp side down. Team Freeman on stand 1 and Team Dustheimer on stand 2. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice and quick. Big hand for both of those teams there. Nice and smooth for both of them. Very good job. We've got 1 team in the final heat, Jared Hawkins and Tabitha Hawkins. Are we going husband and wife again? Okay. Or Justin Winkler, would you want to chop with Mandy in this first heat? Justin Winkler or Robert Freeman, one of them would want to cut in this first heat. All right. Justin Winkler is going to cut in the first heat. So we've got 8x8 blocks out here. There's 2 different types of blocks you'll see at wood chops. Some are these 8x8s and then some are round wood that's spun down. You'll see them chop. They're wrapped in the plastic over there to the left of the stage. They'll be chopping that tomorrow. Again, tomorrow we'll be back here. We've got another pro competitors from across the country, so not just Ohio, competing in men's and women's disciplines. The underhand chop, the springboard chop, which will use these trees to my left over here. They'll attach a block to the top of that. They have to chop notches in that tree, get up there to chop that. We've got the standing block chop. We've got Jack and Joe sawing, hot sawing, and more axe throwing tomorrow. So a lot more action tomorrow if you guys are coming back down. The underhand chop, they are going to start facing away from you. They will chop about halfway through that block. Then they're going to turn and they'll be facing you, so facing the other direction. They're going to finish breaking through that block. Essentially, the first one with that log severed in half will be your winner. Again, this is all timed, so we will compile the times at the end here. Each axe that they're bringing up is specific to that athlete. So the weight of that axe, the size or the head of that axe, which helps determine the weight there too. The grind that's put on that axe, that's all specific to the species of wood that they're cutting. They'll test them out backstage ahead of time, decide which one they think is going to be as free and light in that wood as they want it to be. A lot of them come with a whole axe box or 2 axe boxes full of these axes. So it's just a matter of choosing the right one for that block on that particular day here. Our timer is ready, our contestants are ready. We've got Justin Winkler and Mandy Ard. Timer's ready, contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Let them hear you down here, folks. You've got Justin on your left, Mandy on your right. Like I said, they're gonna go about halfway through here, then they're gonna turn around. You'll be able to get a better view of what they're doing as they make that turn there. They're going to go about halfway through, and they're just about ready to make that turn. Mandy has made the turn here. Let's hear it for Mandy. She's got a great cut going there. Justin is around. Let's hear it for Justin, folks. They're following a pattern as they chop there. Mandy's axe is doing a wonderful job in that block. She's doing a wonderful job of placing that axe right where it needs to be. And Mandy is off. Let's help Justin out here, folks. He's got a great cut going as well. Rick Hawkins on 1, Grant Foreman on 2. We're going to do the same thing again. Very similar style Husqvarna saw coming out here with Grant Foreman. Again, just keeping those guards out front should somebody throw a chain. We're going to keep anybody out front, particularly the person they're competing against, protected. One was 3.50 seconds. 3.5 seconds for those 3 cuts of wood there. So that is the time to beat. Their own preparations. Grant's putting some wood under his saw. Got Rick Hawkins on 1, Grant Foreman on 2. Gentlemen, you've got 60 seconds to warm up those saws.